Good morning and welcome to On the Spot News right here on Zimbabwe Daily. My name is Yvonne Muchaka and the stories making the headlines. Fraud accused Deputy Minister granted bail. Government intensifies blitz on striking teachers. Joshua Nkomo's son wants father's remains exhumed from National Heroes Acre. Number of war vets quadruples. And in sports news, Musona gap difficult to fill and SRC takes Warriors out of AFCON 2023. And now for the news in detail. Douglas Karoro has been granted $50,000 bail and warned not to interfere with state witnesses. In giving his ruling, Harare Magistrate Stanford Mambanje said the state failed to submit enough evidence that can support his continued detention. He also added that the investigating officer and his team had over 48 hours to confirm the addresses of the accused person but failed to do so. The deputy minister will be back in court on June 14. Karoro was arrested Friday on allegations of grabbing 700 bags of fertilizer, $18,000 worth of maize seed, and 5,000 vegetable seed kits from the presidential inputs and selling them. Hundreds of teachers are set to appear before disciplinary hearings this week for failing to report for duty when schools opened for the first time this year. This follows other punishments meted out on the educators, which include salary deductions under a no work, no pay policy. Primary and Secondary Education Ministry spokesperson Taunga Nandoro confirmed the disciplinary hearings. Teachers described the hearings as an onslaught by the employer on workers who were exercising their democratic right to demonstrate and a bid to muzzle them from speaking out against injustices. Zimbabwe National Teachers Union Chief Executive Manu Nyao said the union was concerned about the way the hearings were being conducted without following the necessary procedure. The Zimbabwe National Teachers Union Chief Executive Manuel Nyao said the union was concerned about the way the hearings were being conducted without following the necessary procedures. Zimbabwe National Union of School Health Secretary General Mnyaradzi Majoni said although government had not yet set hearing dates for the accused school heads, the majority of them had received letters from the Primary and Secondary Education Ministry notifying them of the charges leveled against them. ZAPU President Sibangilizwe Nkomo, son to late Liberation War hero and former Vice President Joshua Nkomo, is demanding the immediate exhumation of his late father's remains from the National Heroes Acre in Harare. He wants the iconic late nationalist's remains to be buried at his rural home in Kezi, Matabeleland South Province. Nkomo died on July 1st, 1999, after a long battle with prostate cancer and was buried at the National Shrine. Speaking at Dumiso Dabengwa's third anniversary commemorations in Bulawayo Monday, Sibangilizwe claimed that before his death, his father had told him he resented the National Shrine burials. The number of war veterans has more than quadrupled from 34,000 in 1997 to over 142,000 this year, following a government decision to compensate more ex-freedom fighters, with critics warning that the move could have long-term repercussions for the already ailing economy. The number now includes ex-political prisoners, detainees, and restrictees from the war that led to independence from Britain in 1980. Critics say the compensation is meant to grease them to support the ruling ZANU-PF party ahead of the 2023 general elections. ZANU-PF has since 2000 been accused of using the war veterans in violent campaigns in a bid to retain power. In sports news, former Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder Ezrom Nyandoro feels the retirement of Knowledge Musona from the Warriors has created a huge gap that will prove hard to fill. Nyandoro was part of the Warriors' maiden appearance at the Africa Cup of Nations in 2004 in Tunisia, as well as their 2006 campaign in Egypt, said the departure of the 32-year-old Altai forwarded cast a light on the inability of Zimbabwe's development structures to produce top players consistently. Musona has left the Warriors fold with his name firmly established among the legends of Zimbabwean football. The smiling assassin, who banged in a total of 28 goals in 45 appearances for the Warriors, also led his team at three consecutive Africa Cup of Nations tournaments. Nyandoro said although he shared the disappointment of Warriors fans after learning about Musona's retirement, focus should now be directed at what Zimbabwean football authorities must do to discover another Musona. The Sports and Recreation Commission (SRC) has taken the Zimbabwe Warriors out of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, claiming it had no money to host home matches in neighboring countries. Warriors were due to participate in the AFCON qualifiers with plans to approach the Court of Arbitration for Sports (CAS) and would play home matches in Zambia or Botswana. But the Warriors are set to miss out on the next AFCON finals that will be played in Ivory Coast, having been placed in the same group as Morocco, South Africa, and Liberia for the qualifiers. Kenya, who like Zimbabwe have been suspended by FIFA, have since been booted out of the qualifiers after they failed to resolve their issues on time. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) had afforded both Zimbabwe and Kenya room to resolve their issues before the qualifiers start, but the two nations are adamant on getting rid of their football associations. FIFA demanded that Zimbabwe should reinstate the Fulton Kamambo led board that was dissolved by the SRC last year to have the suspension lifted. And in entertainment news, globally acclaimed American movie director and entrepreneur D.J.D. Lawrence has reportedly earned close to 100 million US dollars through his production work and other ventures. He's well respected in Hollywood and widely regarded as one of the best movie directors for his genre worldwide. He has described Alpha Media Holdings chairman Trevor Ncube as a media innovator and global thought leader. Well-known South African actor Jamie Bartlett has died. He was 55. Bartlett was best known for playing the role of David Junaro in Rhythm City and Mike O'Reilly in Isidingo, among others. May his soul rest in peace. And in other news, SuperSport United striker Kodakwashi Mahachi is facing possible criminal investigation for gender-based violence after allegedly assaulted and broke the hand of his ex-wife. He's also facing allegations that he had scalded his son with hot water. Marita Ndlovu has opened a case of assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm at Nokem Park Police Station in Kempton Park after accusing the soccer star of beating her to a pulp in a violent squabble in their Kempton Park home last year. Mahachi, a Zimbabwean football star, was suspended by the club Mandarins last week after allegations that he scalded Maria's son with hot water on the head, leg, and other body parts emerged. And this brings us to the end of our news bulletin with a reminder of the headlines. Fraud accused deputy minister granted bail. Government intensifies blitz on striking teachers. Joshua Nkomo's son wants father's remains exhumed from National Heroes Ega. Number of war vets quadruples. Musona gap difficult to fill, and the SRC takes Warriors out of AFCON 2023. Thank you for tuning in. Have a pleasant rest of day.